Well, I don't believe it. There's nothing in here. You've just seen me open that. Look. There's no seed in that at all. Right, let me just stop you there. You've just seen a little clip with regards some seed sowing. It's to do with sowing some verbenas. Something happens that I've never had happen before, and I wasn't going to, because of this certain thing happening, I wasn't going to put the clip in, but I'm going to leave it in anyway, so that you can see for yourself. And the cold stratification that I'm talking about is basically getting a plastic bag with a little bit of compost in it, mixing the seed into the compost, water it, seal the bag, and then put that in the fridge for about 3-4 weeks. And then you'd obviously take that out, put it into a seed tray, give it some warmth, and with any luck, loads of plants. But as I've said, something happens. I'm not going to say too much because you'll see it, but I'm hoping it doesn't happen to any of you, and I'm hoping that you've never have had it happen. But please feel free to leave a comment below with regards whether you have had this or whether it, you know. And thank you all very much for watching. Well, I'm out here again in the greenhouse, some more potting on, seed sowing. I've also got some cold stratification to do. Hey, how about that? That's a big word, isn't it? Cold. More on that as we go on. First thing I'm going to do is sweet peas. These have been soaking overnight. You can see, well, I think you might, I don't know whether can you see these like little sort of shoots started to appear on them? That's literally with them being in the house overnight. The variety, the sweet peas, the variety is Hilda's Mix. I had the seed last year off Andy, fellow YouTuber, and I had some off him the year before. And last year I decided, right, I'm going to try and make an effort to save some of my own seed, and that is some of my own seed. I've got a lot more than that, but I didn't want to start those off too soon. What I'm going to put them in as well is a root trainer. I'm going to use that way they can stay in here. I've got a propagator lid. They'll actually go in the other greenhouse, to be honest, but I've got a propagator lid that can go on that, and they'll go in. I've got a little, you'll see it, I'll show you when I do it, but I've got like a little plastic greenhouse within the greenhouse, and these will go in there. So without further ado, I'll get and fill this up, and I'll bring you back when I'm ready to get and sow some seed. Right, the seed tray, correction, root trainer is filled up. Me thinking behind the root trainer is I'm going to sow 2 or 3 sweet pea seeds into each of these cells, and they will then go in the greenhouse. I don't really need to put them in the house. I don't want them to literally come up overnight. I'm quite happy for them to meander along, shall we say, and come up in their own good time. The coming week is basically going to be wet and wet really for forecast around me, so I'll get and do, let's drain this water off now. We'll get and do that down here out the way and put that into and we'll get some seed out in there. But as I say, I'm going to do, this is a variety called Hilda's Mix, and I'm roughly going to put just a couple of seeds into each cell. I'm going to go with the slightly bigger swollen seed. I don't always do it this way. I have done it before now, where I have just put the seed in as it is, dry, and then watered it and relied on Mother Nature to do its thing from there. As I say, you don't have to wet these. I decided to leave these soaking overnight because they are quite a, I suppose the best way of putting it is, shall we say, they're quite a thirsty seed, in that when you're either doing sweet peas or even peas out on the plot, they take a lot of water. I tend to, when I'm doing mine out on the plot, I tend to make a trench for them, water the trench with a couple of watering cans of water, then put the seed in, then another couple of watering cans of water onto the seed, then backfill, and again another couple of cans of water, and they because as I've said, they're quite, I mean, they're a tough shell, you know. A dried peas, they're quite a tough nut to crack, shall we say, for want of a better terminology. That wasn't what I wanted. There we go, that's better. And as I say, that they do take up quite a bit of moisture, so I've decided to do these this way, and let them get a bit of moisture in them, and then we'll sow them. They've about as I say, they would, I think it's out just overnight. That's all as I've done with these. Just put them in that jar, put some water into the jar, and then left them sort of overnight. So I'm going to get and carry on with these, and I'll bring you back when these are all finished and ready to pop into the greenhouse next door. Right, so that's seed sown. 2 seeds per station in there. It's been given a good watering, because as I said about with sweet peas and peas in general, they're sort of what I would call a thirsty seed. They need a fair bit of water. Label, using one of my posh labels that I had for Christmas. we'll put that in there, and then the lid, just make sure that's relatively clean. That's going to go on there like that. They'll go in the greenhouse next to it. I'll show you this when I move them on. My next job that I've got to do now is I want to pot on some of the Iron Man calabrese, the broccoli, and some of the all year round cauliflower. So we'll get that job done next. Right, so we've got, sorry to say, but that's the Iron Man calabrese. As you can see, quite leggy, but I can bury this a little. I needed to pot this on maybe 3-4 days, should we say a week ago, when it was still quite small. That's really when I needed to pot this on. But with it being under my grow lights, it looks like it's all reached for the light that way, but it hasn't. It's just that, as you can see, they'll drop anyway, to be honest. And the cauliflower, similar sort of thing with that, gone a bit leggy. I'm not too bothered. I'm going to put these into these little 4-cell multi-cell pots, and again they will then go in the other greenhouse, in the little plastic greenhouse, and it'll slow them up a little, but it'll give them a chance to get a good root development, and then they'll start and grow away quite steadily on their own then. So I'll bring you back. I'm not going to bore you with doing all this, but I'll bring you back when both the cauliflower and the calabrese are all done and ready. Right, the last thing that I've got to do is this lettuce. This was crisp mint. These are a heirloom variety, and as you can see, that's really the sort of size I should have thought about potting on the calabrese and the cauliflower. These are just about sort of on the borderline, but we'll get and do these. I won't put these under the grow lights, back under the grow light. Basically, I might get that tray in, but I don't think I've got the room. So again, out in the greenhouse, and let them grow away quite merrily. As I say, they're a variety called crisp mint. They were free with DT Browns. In the past, when I've placed orders with DT Brown, I've got free seeds, as is like with these, and I think what came with these was I think it was some poppies came with these. So without further ado, I'm going to get and pot some of these on into here, and then I'll show you everything. I'll lay everything out and show you all what I've done and what trays it's in. So here we have it. This is the greenhouse within the greenhouse. I've got leeks already in here that came from under the grow lights, and you know, they're doing really well. I'm really pleased with them. That's Musselburgh, and then this one here is Autumn Mammoth. So I'm very pleased with the way they're doing. With regards to what I've sown today, well, sown and potted on, sweet peas are there, the all year round cauliflower, the crisp mint lettuce, and then at the back the calabrese, the Iron Man calabrese. They're all in here. This, because of the temperatures that it's forecast, I mean, in here now at the moment, well, the maximum it's been is 12.2 centigrade. It's currently 11.9, so I don't think I'm going to bother closing this up. We'll just, that's a little, there we go, that's better, a bit more tidier. I don't think I'm going to bother closing this up. The greenhouse will stay closed and so on. In here it adds a little bit more protection, and what with the propagator tops, again, that's that little bit more protection. There's no forecast that I know of this week for any frosts, so these will just stay in here, and we'll see how they go. That's a little bit more done, a little bit more progress made, but yeah, I'm quite pleased with them. All in there, just left to grow away merrily now with any luck. In amongst all this potting on of onions and sowing seed, veg seed and so on, I want to get and do some flowers. And one thing, I've just opened this up because I've just taken the label off, but verbena is one thing that I want to have a go at doing. I did some about 2 years ago and didn't have a very good germination. Out of a full pack of seeds, I'll probably only add maybe 8-9 plants, something like that, and they went out in the garden, and they've come up. 1 or 2 died off, but they came up last year and they look like they're still there now, so that's a good thing. But I've since learnt a little bit more with regards, shall we say, an alternative way of helping to improve germination, and it's called cold stratification. A couple of years ago when I sowed them, I did the usual thing: seed tray, compost, seeds, covered, had them in the heated propagator for a while, and as I say, germination wasn't particularly that good. But this cold stratification, we end up using a plastic bag. I'll show you what's involved. It's a case of putting some compost into a bag. I'm not going to put a lot. This compost is quite dry, and it's been sieved through a little seed. This is a seed tray sieve, it says, and whether you can see there. And so this is really, again, it's clover, and it's quite, I think that's going to be plenty. And what I've now got to do, or what I'm going to do, is sow the seed direct into that, and then water it. The seed, verbena seed, is, well, I don't believe it. There's nothing in here. You've just seen me open that. Look, there's no seed in that at all. Well, that's amazed me. I have never ever had that happen before. They won't have all come out, and you've just seen me open that up, and there's nothing in there. That is untrue. Unbelievable. So I'm going to have, I want to do this, but I'm obviously going to have to get some more seed. Well, I'll be. Well, that's it for this one. that with the verbena seed, I've never known that, never ever known that before, but since doing that filming I now have some more verbena, and I don't know whether the microphone's picking that up, but it sounds like there's some seeds in this one, so so we can get on with that job. With regards the cauliflower and the calabrese, I'm going to do some more, and I'm going to sow the seed direct into the multi-cell trays. I've got a little bit of sorting out to do here with regards what's under grow lights and next to grow lights and so on. Get that sorted, and then I can put them under the grow lights. Once they start to come through and go out then into the greenhouse, and they can get and grow away quite merrily out there. And I've got some potatoes. I mean, look at the chits coming on these. These are rocket. I've got them on basically on the window ledge there, and that's how they're starting to go. So these definitely need going, so that's another job for a future video. We'll get them in buckets and put them in the greenhouse, but I'll show you all that in another video. So as I've said, thank you all very much for watching. It really is very much appreciated. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank the new subscribers that I've gained. That's brilliant. Without you I wouldn't be doing this, really, simple as. So thank you all very, very much. Please comment, like and subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified every time I release a new video. So till next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra a bit.